1923 in St. Petersburg, Florida, a town of about 15,000 people, a small but dedicated group of 12 Jewish families met for services in Charlie Davis's store on Central Avenue. Here they started a place of worship for the Jewish people. Congregation B'nai Israel was born. Their first real home was a rented store on 13th Street and 2nd Avenue North. Their first president was a most respected member of the small Jewish community, Hyman Jacobs. In 1926, the small congregation moved to a larger building, a former church on 9th Street and 9th Avenue North, seen here as a radiator shop and restaurant, which it became in later years. With the move to this larger building, they engaged their first rabbi. With the rapidly growing synagogue family, the religious school, the cheder, and the Sunday school came into being. By the early 1930s, St. Petersburg had tripled its population. Congregation B'nai Israel was expanding its horizons as well. In 1935, land was purchased at 1039 Arlington Avenue. Plans were made to build a synagogue, and President Hyman Jacobs, building chairman David Rothblatt, treasurer Abe Sirkis, and future president Max Davis together spearheaded the building drive for the edifice on Arlington. Samuel Gilbert served as lay cantor before he took over the presidency. The synagogue was an important part of St. Petersburg Jewish life, and Rabbi Kleinfeld served as a spiritual leader for many years. By 1942, many Jewish servicemen were stationed in the city, and Congregation B'nai Israel and its Jewish families extended their hospitality. Peace would finally come to the world in 1945. World War II proved to be a major watershed in St. Petersburg history. The servicemen who spent war years in Florida and the local boys who had also served came back to live permanently in peaceful St. Petersburg and have their share of the Florida dream. Congregation B'nai Israel's president, Benjamin Cornfield, looked toward expanding the synagogue's programs, and in 1947 personally met Rabbi Morris B. Chapman at the train and welcomed him to our ever-expanding congregation. By 1949, we affiliated with the United Synagogue of America, and USY was initiated. The cornerstone was laid for a new addition to the building, which was completed in 1950, and the building doubled in size. Despite our expansion efforts, Congregation B'nai Israel was running out of space. So even as we continued synagogue activities in our Arlington shul, thoughts were seriously being given to relocation. To house our many new members and expanding programs, land was purchased and plans began to take shape for a new building. Under the leadership of President Harold Rifkin, on November 17, 1957, there was a kickoff rally for the proposed new building, and a goal was set to raise $250,000. By April 1958, we had a groundbreaking at 301 59th Street North, and construction was underway. Jerry Gilbert, who was born the year our synagogue was born, following in his father's footsteps, was the first president in this new building. With the opening of our new 59th Street Synagogue in 1960, Dr. David Mendelblatt served as president of Congregation B'nai Israel. For the first time, permanent seats, interior decorating, and landscaping were added to the structure. Maury Goblatt, responsible for much of the interior work and always there when needed as cantor or carpenter, was the next president. He was followed in turn by Presidents Murray Jacobs and Ted Whitner. The synagogue played a big part in some important contributions to our Jewish community, an ever-expanding CBI campus, the construction of Menorah Center for our retirees, and the establishment of our congregation cemetery, Menorah Gardens. In 1973, Congregation B'nai Israel celebrated its 50th anniversary with a new rabbi, Louis Letterman, who took over at Rabbi Chapman's retirement. and the congregation prospered under the capable leadership of George Feynman, Judge Edward Krasner, Reuben Halpern, Richard Mensch, and Irving Bernstein. In 1977, when Rabbi Letterman moved to North Miami, we welcomed a new young rabbi, Jacob Lusky, his wife Joanne, and baby Yael. During those years, we were thrilled with the establishment of the Pinellas County Jewish Day School on our campus, and we had successful music festivals featuring the late Cantor Joseph Schroeder and Chazan Farid Dadashti. In 1981, Congregation B'nai Israel made history when President Phil Wallace turned over the gavel to its first woman president, Adele Morris. Our 60th anniversary was celebrated with a big variety show, Showbiz and Shulbiz. We welcome Mark Goodfriend as youth director. Mark, Alav Hashalom, made a big impact and is still fondly remembered. In 1985, CBI congregants, Phil Benjamin and Ted Whitner, led a regional coalition that spearheaded the development of Menorah Manor. Here at CBI, our own campaign culminated in the installation of the gorgeous synagogue windows, our windows of wonder. The synagogue celebrated its 70th anniversary in February 1993 with another talent show and a cast of over 50 singers, dancers, and performers. The new millennium was fast approaching. St. Petersburg had grown from a small, sleepy town into a vibrant urban center with a population of over 1 million people in Pinellas County. At CBI, our pride swelled with the ongoing expansion of our synagogue neighbors. Menorah Manor added the Bressler Weinman Alzheimer's Wing and Irv Weissman Day Center, along with the wonderful Toby Weinman Assisted Living residence. Menorah Center took on a new look and a new name, Philip Benjamin Tower. Our synagogue repeatedly received the Synagogue of Achievement Awards from the United Synagogue. Our award-winning programs, such as our Mitzvah Day and Hanukkah Fest block parties, enriched our entire community. Rabbi Lusky celebrated 25 years with us and also received an honorary Doctor of Divinity degree from the Jewish Theological Seminary. But our most ambitious project ever, under the direction of Come Build It campaign chairs, Dr. Michael and Sandy Slomka, launched our plans for our magnificent new building. Ground was broken in an impressive ceremony in October 1998, and Moving Day, April 9, 2000, was a most memorable event with a grand procession from our former building to our brand new synagogue. 2003 marked our 80th anniversary, and Rabbi Lusky received a historic Hanukkah invitation to the White House by President George W. Bush. Several years later, in October of 2009, our rabbi stood before Congress and delivered the daily invocation. March of 2008, our new synagogue celebrated the arrival of a brand new Torah. Tom and Chevy Silverberg commissioned the beautifully hand-scribed scrolls in Israel by Chevy's brother and donated it in honor of both their parents. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event. A special themed evening of Dancing with the Stars in 2008 honored our 50-year members. It was a great combination of ruach and fun. It was so well received that in 2010, our Come Build It committee was recognized with a special gala evening called CBI's Got Talent. The past decade has seen our annual gift and craft show grow from a small congregational event in 1996 to a community-wide and regional holiday marketplace. The Gift and Craft Show Committee works throughout the year to bring this fun, two-day event to our community and includes all arms of the synagogue and close to 200 volunteers. Every year, it gets bigger and better. Our Jewish cemetery, Chapel Hill Memorial Park, is now a nonprofit enterprise, thanks to the efforts of members of the South County Jewish community, both at CBI and Temple Bethel. Chapel Hill is officially owned and operated by the recently formed Jewish Burial Society of Pinellas County, and these sacred grounds have never been better kept or looked more pristine. Sadly, one of its original committee chairs, David Halpern, passed away in 2012. He was just 52 years old. As we celebrate our 90th anniversary, we take great pride in our programs and warm congregational family. We give special thanks for our spiritual leadership, loyal staff, and many volunteers. We readily ask, what does our future hold? Our hope is for a world free of terrorism and war, a world where people of all races, religions, and creeds can live together with love for one another. A world where all our great technological advances can be used to make more beautiful, healthy, and productive lives. Where our children can be happy and prosper, and where our homes will be safe and secure. We pray that our Jewish community right here in St. Petersburg and in Eretz Yisrael will flourish and grow and be the leaders for an even brighter future. I'm Marilyn LeVine, and as always, my personal wish can be expressed in one simple word: Shalom. And tonight, on this 90th anniversary gala, I want everybody to give me a big high five.